Good evening, Internet. It is Thursday, July the 25th, 2019, and we are the Mr. Video Game Live Super Show brought to you by Dead Sun Entertainment. Woo!
Hooray!
Alright, as always, I'm your host, Slacker Kite, and tonight we're going to bring you more talk about video games, I guess. As always, we got with us tonight two of our favorite people. Let's go you first. He's not drifting. That's just how he always looks. It's Brian, aka Wonderboy.
I am Tokyo drifting all day and all night. Do with that what you will. I don't care.
Drift all the time. And she may
Yes.
not be able to say much of anything yet, but don't worry, fellas. She does not have a cat to yeet anyway. It's Lindsay, aka Merwin. Woo!
Oh my god, that was the greatest intro ever.
Well, you're not going to throw any cats tonight, I hope. I mean,
This is true.
fingers
I would be
crossed.
very upset if any of us threw a cat. That would be very bad.
So how have we been tonight? You guys been doing anything specific?
Woo, we've been raided.
Hey!
And yeah. Hello, Playwatch Army.
Thank you, Play
What's
Watch.
up? So in terms of what I've been doing, I have been playing Dota Underlords.
What?
Okay.
I wanted to see what all this hot auto chess talk was about,
What?
and so I dipped my toe into it.
Mm-hmm.
And as a reformed Dota boy, I think I might have gotten my Dota fix from Dota Underlords now.
Sounds like the best of times.
The best thing about it is that it's so passive that you can basically play it while you're doing virtually anything else. Like, say, podcasting.
You would never podcast and play a game at the same time, right?
Not at all. That is not in my wheelhouse at all. Fucking Athena, go away. Anyway, all right. I lost that round. So, I honestly I am having some fun with it. It's very rudimentary, there is strategy to it, and I'm still discovering it as I'm going through. But it's very much just auto battles and just specking out different things, like building up alliances based off of character classes and types and that sort of thing. So there's definitely some depth to it, but I don't know, it's definitely not as engaging as I thought it would be. It's basically like the single best podcast game that I've had for a little while. I can just throw something on to listen to while I'm doing this and not really care,
What I'm gathering, though, is it's no Firewatch Pro.
Oh no, hell no. Nothing touches Firewatch.
How about you, Merwin? Anything exciting going on?
Oddly enough, and rather appropriately, I got to tool around today with one of the new free games from Epic, from the Epic Store, Moonlighter.
Okay.
And given that technically I moonlight on this channel, it is probably one of the best games I have played, with the exception of Armajet, of course. But basically, Moonlighter, you play a shopkeep who is running a shop that is the oldest in your city. And by day, you sell stuff, so that way you can make the monies. At night, you dungeon dive to get the stuff to sell.
Nice.
And you've got to figure out what your pricing should be by the reactions of all of the peoples and everything like that. So it's super fun. It's really cute. I love it. And it's very it almost strikes me like Wind Waker by way of not necessarily like the quality of the graphics, but the style of the art.
Yeah, I just looked it up on YouTube just to see what it looked like myself, and I figured bring it up. It looks really pretty, actually.
It's super fun too. Like they do say, it's built for a controller, but you can still play it keyboard. And honestly, I've just been playing it with a keyboard and it's fine.
And remember as well, download your games off Epic, but don't give them money. That's the best advice I have for anybody. Get those free
Yeah, pretty
games.
much. Like this is a $20 game Canadian wise. So definitely worth grabbing. It also came out alongside This War of Mine, which I
Oh,
haven't picked up yet. I've been told the story is like soul crushingly sad.
yes. But it is a
Um,
fantastic game. I do recommend this War of Mine.
so that one's free this week as well. They did a double release. It's definitely worth picking up one or both, but definitely grab this one. Like it's so much fun.
I am absolutely not in the Epic store right now on my second tab at all. It's
Hey, you gotta focus. All right, you got
okay.
things to talk about and things to do. You can't have your interest pulled away at all by any.
No,
Damn it!
never. Not by anything at all, especially not by chess.
I'm getting my revenge on Athena right now. I take that back. I am losing terribly to Athena. Oh my god, I'm dead. Okay. Anyway. All right, no, never mind. Victory. Victory is mine.
All right, let's drop into the actual story of the day, starting off with the big one that everyone's talking about. GTA's online Diamond Casino has finally gone live after years of teasing it within the game. You are able to bid the in-game money that you can buy that money to buy chips that you can spend, but only 5,000 at a time, or 50,000 at a time. Excuse me. Which I think amounts to like a buck 50 worth of actual real world dollars, but you can't get anything back out of it. But everyone's kind of staring at this like, is this the thing that finally gets people investigating?
Well, I mean, you've already got countries that are banning it. Like China doesn't allow this game to or like this portion of the game to actually be played.
Yeah, there's a handful of countries, and some players have gotten around this um, by using a VPN, but that's a little fidgety. You're kind of running the risk of them going, "Nah, you're off."
But like this is wrong. This shouldn't happen. I mean, or like make it barred so that way any currency purchased can't be bid.
Yeah, there was
Cuz
some weird talk about this when it first came up. No one was really sure if you could reuse shark cards because Grand Theft Auto 5 does tag money bought by shark cards, but other people are saying that you can use the actual money. They just spent money on a shark card, redeemed it for in-world cash, and then went to the casino. So, ugh.
Yeah, this has the potential to get real gross real fast. um, I don't know. Like, let's just put in an environment where we have national governments constantly pushing against the video game industry for mechanics that can be deemed as gambling because they are gambling, to put an actual casino where you can spend real world money. Not the best look.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah, like I don't know, like
no.
the timing is terrible.
I
Especially
mean,
considering that loot boxes were back in the news this week after the UK had another like meeting and ruling that they weren't gambling. Which, by the way, the UK's
yeah.
wrong.
Well, I mean, like, Warframe does it well because you can pick up their premium currency, platinum, through their store for real world money. But if you're, say, watching one of their dev streams and they do 1,000 platinum giveaway, you actually can't trade that money.
Hmm.
So it's very possible to block money gained in, like, currency gained in certain ways from being able to do certain things. Because, I mean, if you buy platinum or if you earn it by selling in game items to other players, then yeah, you can trade it to your friend. But for something like this, like, it's they've already proven that it's possible. So why not implement something like that to at least reduce the risk of triggering somebody's addiction or introducing somebody to that addiction?
Nobody but Rockstar could really get away with this, and I've seen a whole lot of people online defending it. It's only $1.50 per day. You can't lose that much money to it, but yet it's real gambling, and it begs the question. And you're going to get all of these lawmakers coming up your ass, going, "Hey, this is real gambling. Let's start banning shit." Woo!
And how easy is it to make multiple accounts and turn that $1.50 into 1,050?
Oh, I'm sure it's entirely possible. Brian, have you played Grand Theft Auto 5 online?
I have not played it personally. Um, I honestly I haven't really touched Grand Theft Auto 5 at all
Whoa.
since it came out. I don't know. It just didn't speak to me that much. It's not one of those games that I really seeked out right at release. Like it looked exciting. I like the Grand Theft Auto games, but like I played 4 to death, and I think after that I just needed something clicked in my brain where I needed to take a long step back from it. And I know that 5's been out for a long time, so it's
Oh
probably
yeah.
long enough where I would have fun with it if I actually picked it up. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the online modes, regardless of whether I picked up 5 or not. I don't know if I would really want to play this mode. It just doesn't speak to me in that way,
Hmm.
or at least my play style. So, but I mean, let's face it, Rockstar has not been the best at sort of policing their environments within their games, especially the online portion of it. And honestly, the more I read about this, the more you can start to pick it apart and find the holes, like Lens was saying, where you can exploit it and you can end up throwing a lot more money into this ecosystem. Um, Especially considering I'm not familiar with how bad the grind is for the in-game currency in the online mode.
Hmm.
I don't know if either of y'all can speak to that more so.
I have friends that play it, and here's what I've gotten out of them so far is money kind of rains from the heavens when you want it to in the game. So it's not exactly a huge investment by what they've told me so far.
Hmm. Okay. So that's the thing. Like, I think that obviously they're making it where you can use the in-game currency to in these casinos, and I think that hearing that gives me a little bit better feeling about the financial ecosystem within the mode. At the same time, though, anytime you have a system that offers up content for extra real-world dollars, like some people are going to use that, and if you are not keeping a very, very close eye on this situation, this thing can get out of hand really quick.
Oh, totally. And that's
Uh,
that's the problem. Like, yeah, are we talking about a dribble bits and pieces? Yeah, it's not that bad. But while this is the wrong time, if this had been 3 years ago, I think there might have been less question, honestly. But now that we're in literally countries investigating the legality of loot box and whether these things need to be illegal or not, it's bizarre. That's really all I've got to say for this. Is I don't know why you chose now to do this, but I wish you hadn't. Just because I may want to get into Grand Theft Auto 5 online at some point, and then for it to be tied up in legal stuff. Ah.
Yeah.
But that about minds that for all it's worth. So let's talk about instead Blizzard's co-founder Frank Pierce, story number 2. Thank you, Michael McWhorton of Polygon.com. One of the co-founders of the studio completely just leaving the studio, and people have said time and time again already that Blizzard is no longer the company that it once was, especially after they merged with Activision. But this really, to me, I feel like seals the deal.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, literally, the two people that founded the company are gone now. You can't have the company be the same thing that it was 25 years ago now if both of those men are gone, you know. And yes, Activision definitely played a hand in their in like what they've morphed into in a lot of ways. But uh, I think at the core, like Blizzard still has like they still have that the similar mindset when it comes to development. I would say is some of it's definitely going askew. I think they're branching out into markets that their fan base are not normally associated with and don't necessarily take too kindly to, mainly because of this idea of elite gamerism. Uh, I'm looking at the Diablo mobile game full force right now, and the people that reacted to it in the way that they did. I don't think that's necessarily all Blizzard's fault because they do still make quality stuff for their audience that their audience will eat up. But I don't know, like this on a much more like grand level, seeing Pierce leave, knowing that the major leadership that was there from the beginning is gone now. Like, yeah, Blizzard is not going to be the same company that we all fell in love with whenever WoW launched.
Yeah,
Even before that.
I can't say Blizzard has ever released a game that I've looked at and gone, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I mean, you could say maybe look at the mobile games, but I mean, so far most of what they've put out, even on mobile, is fine, I guess. So it's hard for me to go, "Oh, Blizzard has completely lost their path and everything." But there's been a lot of stories lately that kind of make me question them. Not forgetting the Diablo 4 controversy, firing 800 employees, etc., etc.
You're not wrong there. I think the layoffs fall much more at the feet of Activision than Blizzard.
Oh, it definitely.
Um, so I mean obviously Blizzard plays some part in that because they are part of the company, but I think that really falls more at the feet of Bobby Kotick and the people that are surrounding him and the Activision offices. Um,
Yeah, I can only thank God that Bobby Kotick doesn't have the final say over what happens at Blizzard itself.
yeah.
I just I have no words on this. I mean, really, it's the end of an era, and and I don't know how I want to feel about the direction that Blizz is going under Activision's lead. I mean, I haven't played a Blizzard game in forever. I've jumped in for like 1 or 2 rounds of Overwatch, and that's been about it.
I'm not gonna lie, if there's a Diablo 4, I'm picking it up. that's that's not a question. And we already know they're going to make it, so it's more of a win, really.
Yeah, they are making it. So
Yeah, so I think that's going to tell us what to look for in the new Blizzard. I think when that finally does come out, what we can really expect out of them, since their founders are basically gone, and the blood that is programming the games are certainly different people from those who started it.
no, I completely agree.
On the coattail of weird moves, Andriy Duranichev.
There you go. I was waiting. Old Andy D. All right.
There we go. Andy D did a Reddit AMA over the Google Stadia, which is coming out soon. He wasn't really able to offer a whole lot of specifics during the AMA, but he tried his best to downplay all of the fears about, especially about streaming. Saying the same thing happened to movies and photos and my docs and other files, and it's great. Games are no different. Eventually, all of our games will be safely in the cloud too, and we'll feel great about it. We've been investing in a ton of tech infrastructure and partnerships over the past few years. Nothing in life is certain, but we're committed to making Stadia a success.
Yeah, about that. I don't know. Like the whole uh the the issue about ISPs and data caps kind of scares me because I mean like I've got unlimited bandwidth, but there's going to be a point at which my ISP says enough is enough, and if the service can reportedly use a terabyte of data in 65 hours, like how long
Oof.
do you spend in an RPG? How many hours do you put in? Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if you add all the DLC in there, it's a 200-hour to 100% it.
He had a response to that. I can't predict the future, but I've seen that ISPs adapted in the past. I saw it when I was at YouTube, and we'd expect that to continue. For players concerned about data usage, we'll definitely have some tools in the Stadia app to manage your data usage to adapt to your unique data situations. But I'm not sure if that will be on day one or a bit later. There's a lot of great ISPs offering plans with hundreds of megabits per second or even gigabits and no caps. We're seeing different progress in different countries and are certainly expecting ISPs to continually improve the services.
Okay, but wasn't the Stadia like didn't they also say like this could be done mobile too? Or am I losing my mind?
No, no mobile.
No, you're
Okay.
not wrong. Like they said, basically any like Google enabled device, like phones, tablets.
Okay, cool. So up here, I know Canada is one of the worst in the world for mobile plans. But up here you get 10 gigs at full speed, after which you're throttled for $80 a month.
Now,
Ugh.
call me out if I'm wrong on this, but from what I remember, they were saying that if you're playing it on your mobile phone, etc., that you should be on a wired connection through your ISP rather than on your mobile, as you would expect lags through even a 4G network, and 5G is still iffy.
So then it that kind of defeats the purpose though. It's like so I can play on my phone when I could be playing on my TV or my computer.
But it's a new way to play, so you can bring it to your friend's house.
So here's the other thing though. Like I really hate this argument of like putting faith in ISPs to make things better with those things because we live in an environment now where like net neutrality is gone.
Mm.
All of the like impetus and all of the incentive is in ISP's courts to change that sort of thing. So like we're talking about people that like we're talking about a system where like you can say all day long that that the ISPs could change these sort of things or offer better packages, but the ISPs have proven that they are not going to do that. They have no incentive to do that, you know.
Mm.
So I don't really see that that ecosystem changing a whole lot to accommodate this sort of thing.
The most we're going to see is we're going to see the ISPs release brand new packages called streamer packs that have really great download, really shitty upload, and like a terabyte of data for like $400.
Yeah.
Can I tell you my absolute favorite part of this whole AMA that he did?
What you got?
Of course, it's okay to doubt my words. There's nothing I can say now to make you believe if you don't. But what we can do is launch the service and continue investing in it for years to come. Exactly how we've been doing with Gmail, docs, music, movies, and photos.
Oh
That's
God,
exactly what
no.
we're committed to.
No, they did not. They did not bring up we're committed to this new system because we're Google and that's what we do best is commit to new systems. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I am out of my chair now. I am out of my chair at this.
Y'all
Oh,
made Brian stand up. Be afraid.
do you not? There's I need to find this website. I'm pretty sure there is a website that is called like Google Graveyard.
Yes, there is. Jim
Yes.
Sterling brought that up on his show, actually, where he talked about this very AMA.
The Google Cemetery. Google, like, oddly enough, Google Cemetery, and you will see all of the fucking programs that Google has put out there saying they were committed to, and then trashed them. There's 13 tabs of them.
Yeah, let's bring this up on the stream, shall we? Just, like, throw this up on the screen and see what we get.
I mean, like, the one that I was super upset about was the inbox, because I'm on a couple of mailing lists and I don't need an email notification for every single one of them. So, like, give me back inbox. I miss inbox. I loved inbox. Bring it back.
Like, they have been so non-committal to new things, and like the only reason why I believe they might be a bit more invested in Stadia is because they have that much more money invested in Stadia.
Oh my god, remember goggles?
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
god.
Oh.
Oh, Chromecast Audio, what up? Terrible. Just like
The
like
hell
that.
was Google Tango?
I have no idea. I
Remember,
genuinely have no idea.
do you guys remember when Picasso was like the imager? Like
Oh yeah.
it was the thing. Google Glass.
Honestly, okay, I won't dump on them for that one. That one deserved to go.
I used to use Quick Office, but now, yeah, I'll use Sheets and Docs and all of that. So, oh, they killed Google Sky Map?
Mhm.
I
Oh
really
yeah.
liked that.
Yeah,
I
they
Oh,
still
really liked that.
do you remember when Google was going to be the next big ISP, that they were coming to all the towns and then launched in 3 places and quit?
the
Oh,
Google
yeah,
Fiber.
Fibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I
Trash.
had a Nexus phone, I actually had an update come through for Google Fibe, and
Oh,
I couldn't use it because they never brought it to Canada.
mm. Real quick, Play Watch. Google Plus is on the list.
It was on, like, yeah, the first or second page.
Yeah, right there underneath Google Hangouts. Because they're killing Google Hangouts.
The fact, though, that they had also the fact that they had both G Talk and Hangouts on this list.
Yeah.
It feels good sometimes to dunk on Google, doesn't it? Just
It always feels good to dunk on Google.
Well, you figure we're on a platform right now that's owned by Amazon. We're kind of untouchable by Google, so
Dunk on Amazon too. What up?
yeah, fuck Amazon and how it treats its workers.
Right.
I still want to buy things. Please keep it cheap. Thank you. Anyway,
Pro union. Fuck Prime. Anyway.
all right. While we're still on the hype train, you want to talk about some new and upcoming games that have come out?
Definitely. What
Let's
we got?
yes.
let's hit up Marvel. Well, you know what? Let's do this in a different order. Forget that noise. Let's go with Fire Emblem, because that one was the top of everything, the cream of the crop of what they're reviewing right now. Metacritic has it at an 88. Very positive. It's not actually out yet. I believe that comes out tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it comes out midnight.
And it's already listed
And
as the number 2 best Switch game of 2019.
that's crazy. Like they haven't even seen sales numbers yet. Oh, I guess that's in terms of Metacritic score, right?
Correct.
Okay. I was thinking sales numbers. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, we're talking just straight review, and people, for the most part, have been pretty crazy about this game. Every review that I've seen has applauded its storyline, its in-depth character building and world building, the attention to detail in battle, etc., etc. I didn't expect much of anything out of a Fire Emblem game. They're not exactly known to be heavy hitters or huge sellers, but it's sounding like Nintendo really put their ass into this one, since Fire Emblem really has never sold well in the Americas.
Well, it hasn't sold well in the Americas until the Switch came along. The Switch,
Mm,
like I would say, like the Switch, and to a lesser extent the Wii, really, or not the Wii, the 3DS,
mm.
really brought Fire Emblem into the West in a significant way. And since then, like people, a lot of people in the West have caught this Fire Emblem fever. And you know, a lot of people are really interested in this game. It doesn't surprise me at all that it's being as well reviewed as it is. I think you're not going to find a better tactics game on the Switch right now. Unless, just hands down. Fire Emblem's never really been personally my thing, but the battle system in it is top notch. The story, like this is one of those tactics games that really doesn't skimp on the story, which I mean, yes, you would expect from a JRPG tactics sort of thing. So no, it doesn't surprise me at all that it's gained in popularity in the past probably 5 to 7 years. And this one is just going to trounce any numbers, any high numbers that the previous Fire Emblem games have put up over here.
Oh, definitely. And I think you may see this be a bit more of a slow burner than past Fire Emblem titles, but if the game is as good as the critics are saying it is, and most of these critics have put in 80, 100 hours in this game, I think word's going to get out on this one. It's going to be like the next Phoenix Wright sort of thing.
No, you're not wrong. Like it definitely could be, definitely could blow up in that way. I think Fire Emblem's been due for it. I really think that since the mobile game came out, I think either last year or the year before, that really set the foundation for this game to launch heavily, um, in terms of popularity. So like I'm really expecting this to hit some major sales numbers for Nintendo.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of love for tactical RPGs, but this one may be the one to really bring that more into light. You know, everyone loves their Final Fantasy Tactics, but there really hasn't been a game that has really captured that since that, and that's what, like 20 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But it's not the only new game coming out. We've also got Wolfenstein Young Blood coming out later tonight, I believe. Later tonight.
I'm
Yes.
super excited for this one. It looks so good.
The reviews have been mixed. They've brought in, instead of your basic shooter, you're bringing in RPG elements into the game that were not in in any previous, and that's thrown a lot of the reviewers off, especially, which ends up where all these mixed reviews have come into. So you're bringing a bit of that Borderlands feel into it. Maybe not so much on the looter shooter, but with leveling mechanics.
I think another thing that should be commendable about this game is the multiplayer aspect too. I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, let me double check on that. I thought this was co-op.
It is co-op. Even if you don't have somebody else with you, you do have an AI for your second.
Okay, good. That's what I was wondering. I mean, that's what I was figured, but I just wanted to double check and make sure. Um, where where that could really bog down though is you could run into a Resident Evil 5 scenario
Hmm.
where like the game was actually like pretty good playing it co-op with another person, but the minute you try to play it solo with your AI partner, like that AI partner was like almost useless. So I'm hoping that Sledgehammer has figured out how to make that character still, viable in whenever you're playing solo. Which honestly, I put faith in them to do that. I think that they haven't proved me wrong in terms of like in developing AI in the past, but it does bring some concern though.
Hmm. Yeah, and you do have to keep in mind as well. This is a budget game for a AAA studio. This is a $30 outing for them. So this is their area. If they're going to experiment, this is where they're going to experiment. Some of the biggest complaints, oddly, I haven't really heard many people saying anything too bad about the AI in the game. The bigger complaints that I've heard have been that the game is a lot goofier than the other Wolfenstein games. It lacks gravitas and is kind of short, but also 30-hour side story game. This isn't meant to be, a main franchise game. This is something completely different from that.
It's an interlude.
Mhm. Yeah, this is something to hold you over, I would say, until Wolfenstein, whatever is next in the series, comes out. And it doesn't seem to be a bad entry to the series. And really, how do you go wrong with shooting Nazis with railguns?
You really don't. I mean, that would provide hours of entertainment, even if I can't get past the intro because my shooter skills are terrible. That would be enough amusement for me.
So there you go. That's Wolfenstein. But let's get to the last of the binge here. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 just came out. It's a Switch exclusive, I believe. And it has not fared as well as the others on the reviews. Now, you should know what you're really getting out of a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game. It's a dungeon crawler sort of thing. And it's fun for what it is. If you enjoy that, meh.
Well, I mean, I know Playwatch was watching the Angry Joe review of it earlier,
Mm.
and they panned it. They said that this would be better suited as a mobile game than a full release on the Switch.
I wouldn't go that far. I will say this: it is not deserving of a $60 price tag, but this is not a no. This is much more in depth than a mobile game. It's much more difficult than a mobile game. Um, I, I, there are definitely some elements of the previous Ultimate Alliance games that have been stripped away from this one. Like if you really liked the RPG elements in that game or the loot elements in those games, you're going to be sorely disappointed by this one. They basically strip out a lot of the tech tree stuff, at least the personalized text tree stuff, in lieu of just kind of generic passive abilities that you're upgrading for the most part there. Um, it basically boils down to much more of a beat 'em up than the previous games. That being said, the cast is wide and diverse. I'd say that if you are a Marvel fan, then you are definitely going to find a squad in there that you're going to have fun playing with. They still keep a lot of the kind of interactive teamwork attacks in there that were really popular, I'd say, in the previous games. That being said, like it did not need to be $60. This would have been, I think, properly valued at 40.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It definitely lacks the polish of a game you would expect to see coming out at $60, especially with the Marvel name in these days.
Yeah, and I do commend them for like not just sticking to the MCU characters.
Mm.
Like they brought in the Into the Spider-Verse, they brought in Venom, they brought in Miss Marvel, which I'm so fucking stoked that Miss Marvel is in this game. Like Kamala Khan is rad as shit. So yeah, like they even brought the X-Men in there. So like this definitely is the same kind of love letter that the previous Ultimate Alliance games were. It's just nowhere near as deep as those games were.
Yeah, so really just consider what you're buying when you buy this. If you want to just do a brawler with your favorite Marvel characters and something new, if you're coming in without high hopes for it, I don't think it's a bad purchase, just not the best thing you could be buying that's out right now. And there's a lot of them, especially that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. So maybe a rental?
Or like wait till it goes on like Black Friday sales or Cyber Monday sales.
There you go. When this baby hits $30, that's when you buy. You know this is going to hit $30 or less. But yeah, that's not the only thing I really have to say about Marvel being a little bit of a disappointment. I messed up my
You don't
tabs a little
say.
here.
Okay, Cyclops is DLC, but he's free DLC. Play watch. All of the characters are well. You'd have to buy like a season pass, I want to say, for additional characters going forward in the game. But once you do that, all the characters are available. Cyclops is free, I want to say though.
But some of them are super grindy to get your hands on. Like Playwatch pointed out, to get Magneto is hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. Like it's almost excessive.
Yeah.
So, we hope that you will pardon the shaky cam that we are currently displaying, but this is leaked footage of the upcoming Avengers game from Squeenix on the screen.
Yes. So this was the gameplay demo that excuse me, this is part of the gameplay demo that they showed at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend. And the only way you could have seen it was to be live at the panel. And in it, they kind of showcased the main hero's combat system. I saw a lot of people comparing Thor's combat system to that of Kratos from the new God of War, which makes sense. I mean, you're throwing that hammer like you're throwing that axe. Hulk kind of plays the way you think Hulk would, just basically chunking a bunch of shit around. Um, the more I watch this, the more I just feel like they just saw the classes in Anthem and built out the characters sort of around the classes in Anthem in some ways. Obviously, Thor differs from that model, I'd say, but like Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, those three fit keenly into three of the main classes in Anthem. Black Widow plays more stealthily, that sort of thing. But overall, like apparently it was very well received at Comic Con.
Mm.
But a lot of people have just been looking at the video since it was leaked and saying like, well, some people have been very excited, but a lot of people have been like kind of commenting about how dull it looks.
My problem is this is clearly beta footage, and probably why they didn't want it to get a mass seeing is the AI clearly is not done yet. The combo system doesn't seem to be complete yet, especially on other characters. Um, and really, there's a lot of polish missing that you're just not going to find on a game that's still a year out. So if I don't expect the game that actually comes out to look like this, if they can improve from here and really flesh it out, I think this could be one of the best games. but you've still got a lot of polish to build into this game before it's really something that could be great.
Yeah, and it should be noted that this level that they showcased is basically the tutorial level. This is the prequel, like the 8A battle on the Golden Gate Bridge before the disaster strikes that destroys parts of San Francisco and makes everybody hate the Avengers again. You know, because the story basically picks up 5 years after this. So like, it makes sense that the tutorial level would maybe have like less than ideal AI in it. Um, but they still have plenty of time to fix things and work on things going forward. This footage originally wasn't supposed to be released until after Gamescom in August.
Mm.
So, like, I don't know. I will note though that there might be a bit of an issue with this game, considering that the thing that excited me the most coming out of this demo was the very brief appearance of the aforementioned Kamala Khan,
Mm.
and the heavy rumor that Miss Marvel is going to play a major role in the story of this game.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So like that, I don't know what that says about the game itself, but the fact that that excited me more than the actual gameplay that I'm looking at, like I don't know what that necessarily bodes for the game itself. Also, they've been a little bit wishy-washy with the messaging around like how the single-player campaign will interact with the multiplayer aspect of the game, and then they also showed off some customizable cosmetic items in the games. Basically, you can customize your hero however you like cosmetically, as well as some abilities. I want to say that you can take into the online gameplay to play with your friends. Which, by the way, the online gameplay you are locked to a certain hero, so you can't have like 4 Iron Men out there. So it's like one Iron Man, one Thor, blah blah blah, whatever. But some of that collectible stuff, they've been weird about the messaging around microtransactions in the game. They've been out forward saying like there are no loot boxes in this game, no loot box mechanics at all. But they've also been like kind of dismissing of like not necessarily reports, but the hinting at there being microtransactions in the game, because with cosmetic items, the cosmetic items always got to play into a marketplace for that. That's where
Right.
one of the easiest places for games like this to create new revenue streams. And it also plays into the idea that Marvel's Avengers is going to more resemble a games as a service model, which they also have denied. So I don't know. There's just a lot of like weird messaging about what this game is actually going to constitute going forward. In terms of DLC, they did say that all of the DLC and future heroes will be free going forward. So there's no season pass for this sort of stuff. They're not selling it piecemeal or anything like that. So I think really the only opportunity they have for an additional revenue stream is cosmetic microtransactions. And they have been very weird about discussing that so far.
Which says to me we've got cosmetic microtransactions.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing that
Yeah.
we saw with Borderlands 3.
No loot boxes, but microtransactions. At least there's no gambling. That's all I can ask for.
Yes. No gambling.
But there we go. That's your little brief eye into the Avengers and what's coming.
It looks really cool, and I have very high hopes that they finish fleshing it out. Um, but I'm definitely, this is not a pre-order for me. I typically don't pre-order, but I'm just I'm remaining hopefully optimistic.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't pre-order anything, but definitely I would not pre-order this game.
No, definitely not. I would wait for reviews. If every review is, oh my god, buy this game, then buy the game. But yes, cynically pessimistic is probably your best bet for the Avengers game. On the cynical side, Nintendo has finally acknowledged its drift in the left Joy-Con after news of a class action suit came about from angry customers. This story, as well, posted by Andy Robinson, originally on Video Games Chronicles, but basically you will find this literally anywhere people are talking about video games right now.
Can we just acknowledge for a second how wrong it sounds to say Nintendo and class action lawsuit in the same sentence?
Oh, they've had a few.
It just, I mean, Nintendo to me has always epitomized like the wholesomeness of the gaming industry. And so this is kind of just it's very dissonant for me. Like it doesn't compute.
There's a wide, long history of Nintendo lawsuits, but I'll hold going down that rabbit hole for a different stream.
Like Playwatch makes a really good point. This is the company whose CEO actually took a pay cut because of low profits. He didn't cut staff, he dropped his paycheck.
But the main person filing this, plaintiff Ryan Diaz, complained that his Joy-Con was sent in for repairs, and it took months for the repair. And as well, this caused him, while the repairs were being done, to buy an additional controllers totaling $90 while waiting on this. So that's where the class action lawsuit started, but he definitely is not alone. This is something that happens, I wouldn't say highly frequently with Switches, but I've definitely seen it in a Switch in live person myself. Not mine or any of my friends, but especially display models. But display models, really.
My sister's, I think, has the drift that she's dealing with.
Hmm.
Well,
Well, good news. You
yeah.
can there's a way to rectify that now because Nintendo did not want to get sued.
Yes, they completely sidestepped this lawsuit and probably did one better, actually. They've decided, in face of this potential class action lawsuit, that anyone that wants to get their controllers fixed can get it done now for free. They're going to expedite these fixes, and anybody who's had to pay before to get the Joy-Cons fixed will get them rebated, the money back, for what they actually spent on this.
I mean, it's the
Wow.
smartest move that Nintendo could do. I was gonna make the joke like, no, Nintendo is only does the suing; they don't get sued. But I mean, honestly, they found themselves in a bind, and they were not going to sit by their laurels and just let things go about the way they were going to go about. Like they actually made a change, and I commend them for it. Especially considering that they're now honoring Joy Cons that are out of warranty. Like you don't have to show that you have a warranty or a proof of purchase in order to get your repairs done now. Now, the problem here might be that they might not be as timely as you might like getting around to repairing things, but waiving the cost of it is a pretty smart move. It's a pretty consumer friendly move,
Hmm.
and it does speak to Nintendo's nature.
Yeah, and of course, they're never going to say, "Oh yeah, the hardware itself is faulty." They nowhere anywhere do they say this. They just kind of, "Hey, you got a problem? Just send it in." What problem? Don't talk about a problem, please. Don't tell people there's a problem.
Well, this is the same thing that happened with the Joy-Con around like a few months after launch, right?
Hmm.
I can't. What was the issue with that?
Weren't they
Uh,
desyncing? Like they weren't staying
yes,
paired?
that
Yes.
was it. The desyncing, like that was built in. It was like the left Joy-Con specifically had something wrong in it, and so they like called for like people to send in their Joy-Cons and they would repair them. So like this isn't the first time they've had issues with the Joy-Cons themselves. And it speaks to definite hardware issues that they should admit to, outside of just like they shouldn't be tacitly admitting to them like this. They should basically say, no, I'm sure that they are in some way coming up with a like Joy-Con 2.0 right now. I know Shigeru Miyamoto keeps talking about how like his endless quest to design the perfect controller for any and all video games. So it would not surprise me at all if they are working on a new version of the Joy-Con as we speak. But for right now, you ride with what you got, and what you got continues to have these technical failures. And for Nintendo to not address the technical failure specifically and explicitly, I think it is problematic. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you would like to see them take some blame for it.
Yeah, Nintendo's never going to cop up to these things, though. They keep a squeaky clean image. There's something going on. Don't worry about it. Just let's keep the actual problem under the table. We'll fix you up. It's fine.
Well, I mean, like, for all we know, behind the scenes, with each new shipment that's going out, they've been working uh, fix this error. So that way, eventually, they're just going to see a massive decline in it occurring. And then there was never a problem to begin with. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I might believe that if not for the fact that they've been out like touting new hardware in the over the past month. You know, like they're basically talking about how. Although I will say this, some of that new hardware stuff, it does seem a little bit not necessarily shady, but like there's some weird obscuring of product with that. Because like the new Switch that's coming out with the better battery life, um, they're basically just changing the serial number on the box and keeping the same presentation as the old Switch. So from what I understand, it'll be fairly like hard to discern between the two versions because they haven't announced a price drop for the original Switch yet. So like there's still some like weird like little obfuscating of their hardware, just in these really odd ways that you don't really hear about from other companies.
You guys ready to talk about some real dumb shit, though?
Yep.
What you got?
All right. The top selling game of last month was a waifu sex game for the first time on Steam.
Wait, this was the first time?
This is the first time that the top selling game on Steam has been a waifu simulator that lets you do the sex with your waifu.
I'm out.
I'm clicking on this link to see what. Oh, I can't open it. Oh, I have to log in. Okay. It must be really dirty.
Shape, size, position, contours, dimensions. Customize them all. Want pointy elf ears? Easy. Want to change the color of just one eye? Piece of cake. You have the ability to make a character for any type of setting you can imagine. Choose from a wide variety of different hairstyles. Even better, you can select different hair sections and adjust them individually for ultimate customization. Sculpt every curve with settings both general and specific. Breast, hip, arm, bust, legs. Seriously, we've got options to adjust pretty much anything you can dream of. But wait, there's more! Why not give your character purple skin, or add in cool shadows, or even change the color of her outline? We support all sorts of coloring schemes and light options. I mean, this is anime we're talking about. The sky's the limit!
I mean, at least their messaging is on point, even if it is. Although, if this does contain like the people that want to make their own waifus to virtually bang into one ecosystem that I don't have to interact with, then I am perfectly fine with that.
Just no. No.
Travis, I think we might
he's
have lost
broken.
Travis.
I think he's broken.
Did we lose you to the waifus, Travis? We must rescue him from Waifu Island.
I think he's broken. Or he's ranting and his mic went no.
Well, this is all right. Well, while that gets figured out, because I don't know, like, okay, I don't, I honestly don't know what to say.
Boop boop.
Ah,
Yo.
There we go.
are we back? Are we back? Got audio on the stream now?
Let me check.
All
Yeah,
right, we got
all
it. We
right.
got
Yes.
it.
Woohoo.
Awesome.
Okay. So,
Cool. I stick by my
this
words, but I'm glad we have the audio back.
yes, this is Alinity Divine. She was in the middle of an Apex Legends match and literally yeeted her cat over her head. I watched the clip. I mean, the cat was fine.
Yeah,
Um,
she didn't really
I'm
throw it
also
that hard.
exactly, but she's also come under fire because there have been streams where she's put like a mouthful of vodka in her mouth and then opened her mouth a bit. The cat wedged its face in her mouth and started drinking the vodka, so
Milo.
that's animal abuse. Um, there's yeah, see, yeets the cat. um,
Yeah, she
there's
kind of
yeah.
dropped it over her head. Really, it didn't go that far.
I mean, she could have turned and placed it on the ground versus hucking it over the top of her head.
Yeah, that would have been way better.
But the reason why people are calling for the ban is because there was another Twitch streamer, Nee Coleslaw, and she's actually one of the top female streamers in the world. She received a temporary ban for animal abuse as well, for, from what I understand, a similar situation. So, like, guys, really?
I don't really see a need to ban her even like maybe a day or two or something, but I think a charity stream from her would be nice. I also saw the vodka incident. She took a swig of vodka and let her cat lick her face. And then the cat made a gross face and walked away. That was really the extent of it.
But everybody, of course, is dramatizing it and saying she force fed her cat vodka, and it's like you didn't hold it down and pour it into its mouth, like you didn't free pour it. Like it's fine. My cat used to try to drink my beer until she realized that bubbles and nose do not mix. Um, so like just yes, she could have put it down beside her, but how many times have you guys like has somebody come and like danced around in front of you while you're in the middle of an intense match or something, and you just haul off and smack them? It's the same thing.
Mm.
I would argue that that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but it's not like you're intending to injure them.
No,
You're
but now we're
trying
getting.
to get them to move.
No, I get that, but we're also getting to the argument about heated gaming moments now, and that's a very, very like that's a minefield in a way. I will say this much though, as someone who works at a desk all the time and has a cat that likes to get on that desk and destroy shit on that desk all the time to the point where I have to lock him out of my office. I love you, Max, but you annoyed the piss out of me. I don't yeet my cat over my head whenever I need him out of my way because I'm working on something. I pick him up, I put him down, I chastise him in a playful way, and then I go back to what I'm doing. There are ways to handle this sort of thing, and like this is clearly like animal abuse. Like it's not the worst case of animal abuse, but the worst case is not the only case for animal abuse. And I think that the fact that DJ Wheat, the director of creative development at Twitch, came out said that he believes that she should be banned for 30 days for this, and that she should have to do an awareness stream and a potential charity stream for pet abuse or for pet charities. Like I think that that speaks to how Twitch believes they might handle this. I mean, obviously the ruling hasn't come down yet, but like I think she should be at least temporarily suspended. I don't know if 30 days is going to be realistic for what how Twitch likes to hand out punishments, but like there should be some punishment. And like, I'm sorry, like that's where I sit.
Well, I mean, they've already set a precedent for it. They've done it. They've handed out a temporary ban for something along the same lines before. So
Yeah,
yeah, they should follow up with that. But to me, I mean, it's still not. I don't see this as animal. Oh, there's no way for me to say this without sounding like an asshole. To me, this is akin to walking down the hallway in the pitch black and tripping over your cat. You know, like it
I'm not.
sucks.
I'm
But
not actively trying to trip over my cat though. This like she actively picked up her cat and threw the cat. Like it wasn't that far, and the cat wasn't hurt, but she still actively picked it up and threw it. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me personally.
I'm going to throw out as well, it's a little bit hard to capture the difference between the people who are really caring about the cat's well being and the people who have always been mad at Alinity for being haha Twitch thought.
Oh God, is this the PewDiePie video? Or are we talking
Yes.
about the PewDiePie? God damn it!
Still talking about the fucking PewDiePie video where he used her content and she made a joke about taking him down, and ever since then, just a whole bunch of bros being mad at the lady.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everybody who is mad at the lady is a member of the Bro Fist Force. I'm just saying there's a good split in there.
Well, I mean, we've seen on Twitch like fragile male gamers will take any opportunity that they can to rail against a female streamer.
Yep. And I've noticed other behaviors and tendencies as well, like because I visit Poning, which features small streamers. And I'll drop it into the chat every now and again. And I had one recently that made me stop chatting entirely with anybody because it was, oh, wait, you're a lady? So these are the things I want to do to you. And it's
Oh
like, are
God.
you shitting me?
Oh, gross.
Like, actually stopped playing the game, took his mic, brought it right up to his mouth, and started trying to be sexy.
Oh.
Like, dude, you're playing Need for Speed Underground 2. One of my favorite games. One of my favorite games. One of the first driving games that I absolutely fell in love with and destroyed in. And I'm sitting here talking about rebuilding engines and you're trying to sex me up? No thanks. Bye.
This has even led to people coming to her house and asking her neighbors about her.
Yeah, this is getting scary.
Yeah, I personally, I kind of feel like she's had enough. Now I don't disagree. There was one of the Twitch moderators, I forget who, but one of the bigger directors over there, basically said that he would agree that a short-term ban would probably be the best idea, but he's not in charge of those decisions. Which,
Yeah, I think that was DJ Wheat, the director of creative development.
okay, yeah. So, and that makes total sense. I can see where some people have that issue and some don't. So there you go. That is the Alinity situation as it stands. I don't think either side is right or wrong in this for wanting a short-term ban. But I have heard so many people be like, she should never return to Twitch after this.
No, that's the dumbest outlook to have on this. No, because this is not something that deserves a permanent ban. If Doctor Disrespect doesn't get a permanent ban for fucking breaking California state law, then Alinity Divine does not deserve a permanent ban for yeeting her cat.
Yeah, give her 30 days.
Yeah. And also, before we move off of this real quick, I just want to throw this out. PETA, fuck off. Just in general, PETA, fuck off. You don't get to come in the video game atmosphere and tout this sort of bullshit and act all holier than thou whenever the last time that you did come into the video game hemisphere was to put out a very shitty multiplayer Smash TV knockoff where you played as cute kitties saving lambs, only to have images and messages about the meat industry come up after you beat a level.
Fuck Beta. Yeah, yeah. There's really no positive things that you could possibly say about those fuck faces. Nothing they
Yeah.
do is good. So please fuck off. Brian, I'm going to leave you in the hands, or your capable, warm, loving hands for this last story, as you have better details on this than I do.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we've been covering the Echo Fox League of Legends fiasco over the past few weeks, and this week did not disappoint either. Last week we talked about obviously Echo Fox. They have had some issues with a investor, one Amit Raizada, who has been accused of making racist threats towards Echo Fox's founder, Rick Fox, former NBA champion. And basically, Riot said that either you get Razada out of the organization in 60 days, or we might have to revisit punishment, i.e., you might lose your spot in the LCS, the number one North American League of Legends esports organization. So 60 days was up last week, and Risotto had not been expunged from the company. And so Riot gave them a 7-day extension period. And since that news came down last week, there have been a lot of reports regarding a change in ownership, not just of the League of Legends spot that Echo Fox occupies right now, but of Echo Fox itself. So first came this article from Bloomberg stating that Rick Fox himself was close to selling his share in Echo Fox entirely. The report basically said that people close to the situation reported that he is kind of exploring leaving the company as part of a deal. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, so basically, like he's potentially looking to sell his way out of the company. This also came at the same time as reports came from an ESPN report that was picked up by GamesIndustry.biz that said that Echo Fox was looking to sell its spot in the LCS, and the buyer was revealed to be the Cronky Sports Management, I think is the name of the holding company. Cronky Sports and Entertainment, which they own a few different organizations within traditional and esports. They own the Denver Nuggets, they own the Los Angeles Rams, they also own the Los Angeles Gladiators of the Overwatch League. And I want to say there's one more. Oh, they own Arsenal in the Premier League over in England. So, like, this is a major sports organization that is looking to buy that spot, and they clearly have seen some success with the Gladiators. They're wanting more penetration into the esports world. League is the best place to be, other than Overwatch right now, I'd say, unless they want to add a Call of Duty team where they launch the Call of Duty League next year. But basically, the reports of Echo Fox selling that spot kind of play into this idea that they've either run into a snag with getting rid of Rizada, who owns 10% of Echo Fox, or they might just, like, Rick Fox just might be giving up on the company entirely and just letting Rizada stay on. And obviously, if Rick Fox sells his stake in the company and Rizada stays on, then Echo Fox is not going to have I really doubt Riot would keep Echo Fox on the roster going forward in the LCS.
Yeah, and I have to imagine that you would lose players in the process of going to a different company, or especially if Raizada stays on the team. I can't imagine that a lot of the players wouldn't just straight out leave and find a better team to join.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, obviously, if the spot does get sold to Cronky, then the team that Echo Fox fields right now would not automatically transfer over because they're still under contract to Echo Fox. I would hope that Echo Fox would let them out of their contracts almost immediately if they did sell that spot, because there's really no reason to have league pros on your payroll if you don't have a league team for them to play on. So yeah, and obviously a lot of those people could end up on a Cronky-owned team once that gets established. But also, like, they could go to anywhere else, and I think that I think that you would see a mass exodus of League pros from Echo Fox once that deal goes down. Where this might be a cause for concern is Echo Fox as a whole, because they're not just fielding teams in League of Legends. You know, they have a good crop of players in the fighting game community. Most notably, our favorite number one furry boy at this show, Mr. One Sonic Fox. So, and I can't imagine someone like Sonic Fox that the Rysada comments would sit well with him.
Yeah, and he is definitely their star boy right now. You're talking about the number one esports related person voted, last year. That's He's pretty huge in the sphere. Even people who don't know esports very well will probably know Sonic Fox at this point if they're into gaming.
Yeah, like it's like this could spell a huge blow for Echo Fox as a whole because of this. We might have gotten a report confirming the exit. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, I know if I were somebody, um, especially, excuse me, if Rick Fox leaves, I cannot imagine staying around on the company, especially under somebody like Rysada, who, if he's going to be dropping the N word, I wouldn't want to stay in a company that is the one of the major players is somebody like that, especially.
Yeah,
Doubling down on my especially own words, especially today.
yeah. Okay. So there's no explicit confirmation of the sale, although we do have a number figure now. 30.25 million would be the price tag if this deal, which reportedly has been agreed to, goes through. Apparently, the deal is being reviewed by the LCS, reportedly, and we'll see what happens there. I mean, Echo Fox, like if they go, that would be a big blow to the foundation of the LCS. Echo Fox has been there for a very long time. They are a historic name in League, much less the rest of esports. So, and it's hard to imagine Echo Fox being what it is without Rick Fox being there. And if he actually is selling his stake in the company, then this company is not going to be anything like what it was before, in a lot of ways. I will say this much: Rick Fox went on Twitter after that Bloomberg story came out and tweeted #fake news along with that story. So, like, obviously he's denying that right now. But yeah, like literally, it's most of their income esports wise comes from League, I would say, just based off of like how popular these games are in esports. Like, so they field a League team, they field a Counter-Strike Go team, they field Call of Duty team, and then they have their fighting game competitors. And CS:GO, that can be very lucrative, but it's not on the level that League is. I mean, you don't like CS:GO isn't on ESPN, you know.
Right.
So like if they lose that spot, like that is a huge chunk of their income that is going to be going to the wayside. And it clearly, I don't know what's going on internally at that company right now, but either Rysada is like putting his foot down and is trying to negotiate a deal that he knows won't get done so that he can stay within the company and just frustrate Fox out of it, or he has allies in that company that want to push other people out. And if the latter is the case, then that there is something insanely gross about that, because Rysada is a detestable human being.
Yeah, I have not heard a single thing positive about Rysada other than he has money invested. That is literally all I've heard, and that's not even positive. That's just there.
Nah, everybody that he's worked with is like, yo, homophobe, yo, racist. That's
Beautiful.
literally the two main things I've heard about the dude. So
But none of
yeah,
this matters when you have money. It's fine.
Should fucking matter. God.
All right. That basically covers today for Mr. Video Game Live Super Show. I want to thank everyone who came out today. We've been trying to bust our way filling in for affiliate. We've got all the numbers except for followers, so getting up to 44 today is actually a big thing, and I want to thank everyone. John Borg, Sarcastic, of course, Playwatch, and everyone else that made today's stream great. Uh, we, of course, always export this VOD over to CBGP Games on YouTube. That's youtube.com/CBGP Games. So if you missed anything on the episode and want to catch up, especially when I fucked up the audio, you can catch that there. But of course, we end every Mr. Video Games with the designation of who is Mr. Video Games this week. It is somebody who has done something so great, so terrible, so mind-numbing, just something that you look at and go, oh yeah, that's video games there. That it had to be covered. And of course, this week's Mr. Video Games is Koji Garcia. Development for Bloodstained would not allow to continue unless each boss was not just defeatable, but defeatable with just a dagger. That has been his motto since he has been development on Castlevania. If you cannot beat that boss, you better be able to do it with that dagger, or you have made a boss that is not able to be published. And they spent apparently some time doing this. Some bosses almost didn't make it in their current standing.
Is this why the game was delayed?
Wouldn't that be perfect? The game was delayed until we could figure out how to beat these bosses with just daggers. Did you tweak the bosses? No. We just had to delay the game until we could really get it done.
It's just, I love that they added the Mario Maker rules to game development now. I want this in every game going forward. I want a Dark Souls game where you have to force the developers to only be able to beat it with a dagger. And then we would never get another Dark Souls game. I understand that. I would be very pained by that, but it would be hilarious.
Absolutely. I love this whole idea, and honestly, Bloodstained was fucking brilliant. If you haven't played Bloodstained, do play it, and I hope that their time spent with daggers was worth it for them. Even with everything available for me on several of these bosses, it took me an hour or so of just going, what the fuck? How do I dodge that thing? Shit! But we have been Mr. Video Games. Thank you, everyone who came today. Merwin, do you have anything else to fill us in with tonight?
You guys have been fucking amazing tonight. Thank you so much. We have pulled, let's see, we started at 39 follows. We're sitting at 45. Guys.
Well,
Yep.
Dude.
5 more, and we will have reached the path to affiliate, and we will be done with these shenanigans. But in the meantime, I will still be playing Slime Rancher until we get that 50 followers.
And you know what? Maybe you should keep doing it after too, because I quite frankly have been enjoying watching you play.
Maybe. You hear that? Positive feedback. More Slime Rancher. Everybody gets a Slime Rancher. This Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m., only here at Dead Sun Entertainment. Brian, you got any last words here today?
2. Number 1, shout out to Overwatch's new character Sigma and his feet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Sigma. Just Google Overwatch Sigma feet. You will see what I mean. Mwah.
That's
and
some
number
dumb
2,
shit.
yeah, that's a clip. That's a clip right there. Number 2, I would, if you are at all interested in esports or League of Legends, not necessarily the esports around it, but also the community, I have an interview with a former European Championship Series shoutcaster, Mr. James O'Leary, also known as Stress, who currently works for a team in the LEC, Splice. I have an interview with him going up tomorrow morning on outsports.com, kind of talking about, you know, he identifies as gay, and we talk about like his how his work within League of Legends esports and being an out gay male in that environment, and then we get into a long discussion about representation, the toxicity of the community, and how to make the community better, and the work that he's doing to do just that. It's a really I had a lot of fun talking to him earlier this week, and I think it's a really, really good read, and I would suggest everyone check that out tomorrow morning on outsports.com.
All right, you all heard that. Go read outsports.com. It's fucking great anyway. You should be reading all of the Brian Bell articles. Wonderful stuff out there on the interwebs.
I'll take that. Also, shout out Kiera Hogan and Diamante. Fuck yes.
All right, thanks everyone once again for coming. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.